much. So I want to switch now to the broad topic of talent. This region has some of the best talent in the country, and if not the world. And it's helped us attract a lot of great businesses, Amazon being the most recent and more high profile one. But one of the things that the business community has often struggled with is how to keep that talent here and to continue to grow it. I'm going to first talk about the K through 12 process, and I'm going to go to you, Governor Northam, first. I've noticed that with the pandemic, we've got virtual schooling. We've got some kids who haven't registered for school. We've got some issues there. Can you talk to us about what you're doing on the K through 12 that helps build our talent pool in the region?
I will, Tony. And, this has been a tremendous challenge during this pandemic for families. And for those of you that have children, and Pam and I raised 2 children, I can't imagine what you're going through right now, the balancing act that has to take place. A lot of households, as you know, Tony, both parents are working. When there's virtual learning going on at home, who's staying with the children? When there are children with special needs who need to be actually at school, when there are nutritional needs, when there are technological needs, when families don't have access to broadband. So tremendous challenges out there. But, one of the things that I mentioned in my opening comments, Tony, was the need to train that workforce. And that's why businesses want to come to the greater Washington area, because of our tremendously talented workforce. So we actually have a STEM commission, science, technology, engineering, and math, where we really encourage that starting, and I'm going to add on to K through 12, Tony, if it's all right. We start with early childhood education, and classes like coding, and relationships with the local businesses, where we have job fairs when they come in and talk to the children and get them excited about what the future is, and ask questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And these are the things that we can do to help train you to do that. So we've put a significant amount of resources into K through 12, more counselors of color, more counselors that understand mental health during these stressful times. So a lot of that is happening. Certainly to encourage technology and innovation in our K through 12 system. And I'm going to put a quick plug in. One of the things that we're proud of in Virginia, and I know the mayor and the governor believe in this as well, but that's early childhood education. And, there's just a tremendous learning potential in our children before they ever get to kindergarten. And as we say, children, they learn to read at an early age, and then they read to learn. And if our children aren't reading by the 3rd grade, they're at a tremendous disadvantage. So we're reaching out to our 3- and 4-year-olds in Virginia to make sure that they have access to early childhood education. And what more important time than right now, and I don't look at it as childcare, but families need to know that their children are in a safe environment while they're at work. And so all of that's important. But I will tell you, to keep that pipeline open, especially in STEM related jobs, before COVID-19, and we couldn't fill the jobs that were out there, and now we're in even a tougher situation. So the more that we can work with our higher education, our community colleges, K through 12, and early childhood education, the better our workforce will be trained, and the better our businesses will do in this greater metropolitan area.
Governor Hogan, I want to go to you on that issue, and what can the business community be doing to support K through 12? You even want to throw pre-K in there too, like Governor Northam did. That's all right. And whoever wants to throw our great universities in there, you could do that too. Sure. What can we be doing in the business community to help with workforce training and keep that reputation we have as a talent draw and a source for good businesses who want to come here to get that talent?
Yeah, it was a great topic. When it comes to the talent of the region, I don't think anybody can match the 3 of us, the District of Virginia and Maryland. I think it's one of the things we're most proud of. It's what I think attracts a lot of people is the skilled and educated workforce and the talent that we have in lots of different really important fields. And our kids are so critically important. So I'll try to cover from pre-K all the way to workforce development in universities in one answer. But the toughest thing that we've been through a lot of tough challenges, but I think it's been hardest on our kids. And some of the toughest decisions are about how do we handle, educating our kids from the very young and K through 12 to getting our universities back open, and what do we do about continuing the great workforce development progress that we've been making in this era of COVID. And Governor DeWine and I, the governor of Ohio, we were the first two governors in America back in March to close all of our schools statewide, which was a very difficult decision to make. But at the time, with the positivity and the rates, the surge of cases, it was the right decision to keep our kids safe. But now we're trying our best to figure out how do we, in this new environment, provide the best learning experience because we don't want our kids to fall behind. So we're doing a bunch of things. I mean, because our health metrics in Maryland have improved so dramatically, our state board of education, our state health department said that all county school systems are now fully authorized to begin safely bringing some kids, and in some case hybrid types of situations, smaller groups of children back into the classrooms, particularly those that have special concerns or needs, special needs kids. And our universities are all making difficult decisions. The university system and all of our colleges and universities are also trying to figure out in a safe way how do we provide the best education we can. I mean, there's nothing more important. It's been our top priority. We've invested $40 billion in education, 6 years in a row, record funding. 75% of our capital budget goes into education. So it's a priority, but now it's critical. So we also, so 17 of our 24 jurisdictions have now plans to bring some kids back in they're all kind of different, but we have the flexibility of what's going on in their counties. The others, we're encouraging them to consider that. For the people that aren't in school, either in college or in the lower, in the elementary school, middle school, or high school, we're trying to beef up our ability to educate them. So we had already had a huge investment and program on improving broadband connectivity. But with CARES Act funding, we just recently, we had some flexibility with the CARES Act money that came to the states, and we put $345 million more into additional with CARES Act funding for K through 12 in education funding. Much of that is being utilized to buy Chromebooks and laptops and expand both rural and urban broadband. And I just visited several schools last week where they were bringing kids in who didn't have that connectivity. So they were distance in a gymnasium, but there were teachers, they were providing laptops and they were helping them log on. The teachers were there, but not a full classroom. They were, some people were at home watching and others were in the school actually getting the help that they needed. So it's going to take all of us, but having a flexible, hybrid of some sort, both on workforce development, on our universities, and in our primary and secondary education, it's going to be critical as we get through this. And hopefully the rapid testing is going to help that I mentioned earlier. And hopefully we get to the point where we have a vaccine and we can keep everybody safe and get back to some sense of normalcy.
Thank you very much, Governor Hogan. Mayor Bowser, do you want to speak to the talent issue and again, what you've been doing in the K through 12 area, or again, as broad as you want to make it? You got some great universities in your jurisdiction as well. And let us know what we could be doing in the business community to help.
Well, I think that my colleagues have been spot on that the pre-K through law school is certainly a big driver of how we attract talent, and we're really blessed with some outstanding universities in our system. And I might add that because we have those great universities, they've also been very vocal in helping us on a myriad of COVID issues that we have been able to tap into their expertise. So we feel really good about that. I have made it our priority number one in our recovery to get kids back to school sooner rather than later. Our kids right now are in a virtual posture until November the 6th, where I hope that we have a substantial hybrid option available in DC starting November the 9th. I see it critical, not just for those kids, but for the entire city, for the business community to start planning around how to slowly come back, the government and families starting to make plans. So that continues to be our focus. In terms of talent, I think that the thing that all of us kind of have in mind, we've read the stories. Do people need to come back to downtowns? Or is the way of work completely changed and is ever going to be the same again? And what I know is it's great to be able to have a little bit more ability to manage how you work and where you work. I've certainly done that over the last 6 months, but there is no replacement, in my view, from the creative energy that people get in working together. There's no replacement for the arts and culture and all of the kind of the soft things that go with doing business. And that's why I am very certain that people are in some way going to come back to their offices. And so how we think about that and I think that is a very important part of the equation when you talk about recruiting talent. People come to this region to work because of the critical mass of tech opportunities here. That is for sure. But they also come here because of the critical opportunities for a cultural experience, a great place to raise their families, and the connectivity of this region to arts, culture, entertainment, and to being in a world-class city, in a world-class region. And so that energy is a very key part of how you in the business community attract great people to work for you. And so that's what all the things that we've been talking about are connected. How we bring our city back safely, how we have a reputation for relying on science and making the best recommendations. One of the a very good compliment that I got from an education leader, it was from Dr. Frederick at Howard University, is he says, "You all have managed this pandemic so well, I feel very confident in talking to the parents of my students about how they can send their kids to us." And so that is, I hear that about each of our jurisdictions. And so that's very key to having workforce confidence, parent confidence, and consumer confidence. That's how we get back to better than normal.